Hello. I actually came up with the idea for this video thanks to what Amphotrog put in one of the comments of my videos recently. So I thought, you know what, let's just give tips and tricks on everything I know about content creation. In this video, I'll include every type of content creation I do, so that includes streaming, making long form videos, and making shorts. So for streaming, there are a lot of things you have to take into consideration. You have to consider how to make the stream entertaining and also ideally try and have it good quality. So for me personally, I stream on OBS. As you can see here, I have multiple scenes. So this one, as you can imagine, is just the, typical stream I have. So I have my game capture, game audio, all of that stuff. And this actually brings me on to something that some of you might not know who stream on PC, which is that you can actually have it set to a specific audio for a game rather than have it capture your entire desktop audio. So as you can see here, if you go up here, you can have it select a specific application to have the audio off. Just a little trick for those who are wondering. And then I of course have my starting soon here and my ending soon. And then these ones are just things I have as intermissions. So I have multiple. And then this one is for when I have other stuff I want to show. So like, when I put a YouTube video up or something. And then for any of you wondering why on stream I sometimes mess up my transitions, it's because I manually change it here each time. So I have it for this one, for example, where it shows this but then of course I also do fade so that the audio doesn't go weird. And then for settings, something I would recommend having checked if you are on OBS is to click on this if you are able to stream at higher than this bitrate, because on streaming I actually have it at 8,000 bitrate, when normally it's only supposed to be 6,000. Rate control is CBR, and yeah, simply just copy any of these if you want to use my exact settings. However, if your internet isn't that good, I would recommend lowering your bitrate. And then for video, I don't have anything out of the ordinary. It's just same resolution and 60 FPS. And I believe that is everything for the OBS. Now, for the actual Twitch channel, I have quite a few things set up. So first of all, I have this whole About Me page going on. So I literally have my description here, and I've got links here to the channels, along with our Discord link. And then I also just got a whole essay here, basically, of certain things. Now, for schedule, it can be quite important if you want people to know when you're streaming next, of course. And something that isn't really necessary, but might be quite useful if you especially want people to see them, is if you make clips of your streams, you can then put them as a featured clip, which means they show at the top of literally everything. Now, for anyone who isn't able to look back at their past streams on their channel like this, it is because if you go on your channel here and then create a dashboard and then settings stream, if you scroll down here, you can have it set to store past broadcasts. Now, while I'm here, there are also a few other things I'd recommend doing. First of all, on channel, as you can see here, this is where you can add all of the links and all the descriptions for your channel, along with even your schedule. And then on moderation, you can avoid people saying certain stuff, or you could even make it so that they have to at least have certain things before they can say stuff in chat. And also down here, you can do chat rules, which is what they see when they try and say something in your chat for the first time. And also, if you scroll down, of course, you can also have it in followers only mode, so only followers can say stuff in your chat. And also to pin messages, all of that kind of stuff. If the category you're streaming in happens to have viewer drops, you can go here and enable it, for anyone who didn't know about that. And something you may have actually noticed on my YouTube channel is that some of my shorts permanently have this Twitch symbol on it. Now, sometimes I just have it edited to show that the whole time. Recently, I've only had it show at the beginning. But when I first did shorts, it was actually because when I go on content and then clips, so these are of course the clips you make from your streams or ones that people made for you. You can then go to these and crop to portrait. You can have it edited here like this. this is the only other thing I could think of to really talk about for Twitch, which is to do with moderators. So on the roles manager under community, you can give people certain roles. So that'd be moderator, artist, and editor. And why I'm saying this is important is, first of all, if you end up growing quite a lot, it'll be quite good for you to have someone in your chat all the time who's a moderator, because they can sort out anyone who's in chat who's, saying stuff you'd rather them not say. And also, this brings me on to chatbots. Now, I have two here. One of them is to stop people from saying certain words, like a lot of profanity, for example. And then the one down here is actually more to do with fun commands you can use in chat. For example, you can say, like, roulette 50%, and you can gamble, like, half of your pumpkins on my channel, for example. And I do believe that is now everything covered for Twitch. So, for YouTube, the first thing I'm going to talk about is long form videos. And the main things I'd recommend are, first of all, the title, the thumbnail, and, of course, what's actually in the video. So, first of all, one thing you've got to remember is that the title and the thumbnail are purely there to get the person to click on the video. And what's in the video is what keeps people watching it. As of recording this right now, the last video that came out on my channel is this one. I do a thumbnail where it shows two different parts of that quest, and then I split it in between, and of course have my MFL symbol at the top right there. And then for the title, I try and think of something catchy that kind of gives a quick summary of that quest. And then I put after it, in this case, Chiori story quest, because it's the side quest of Chiori. Well, first of all, I have Corruption Fontaine, and also, of course, the thumbnail. As you can see, it shows Chiori attacking that person there. So, gets people wondering why on earth she's getting so violent, Maybe gets you a bit worried for the NPC, possibly. If you didn't know the context. And also, if I go back to another one, they get reunited. For those who don't play Genshin Impact, to put it simply, the two characters on the left are siblings who got separated. So it might get people who play Genshin thinking, oh my god, no way, they're together again, that kind of thing. Hence why I put they get reunited, it's to get people wanting to see that they're together again for a bit. So as you can probably tell, just from the Genshin Impact videos, I tend to go for a certain theme where I'm kind of combining the thumbnails and the titles together. However, onto other videos, of course, because this isn't just Genshin Impact on my channel. I've got unreleased Enfo Clan clips here. So for this, I simply took a part of the video and then basically changed the colours so that it would be black and white, but then kept the colours of the numbers and the eliminated part. And the reason why I made it black and white is because unreleased, I was thinking, be to do with the past. Another thing you may have noticed in some of my thumbnails, especially the Honkai Star Rail one, for example, I added text in the thumbnail. So I put better than Genshin Impact to show that I'm giving my opinion of the game, similarly with these videos. Although, again, for some of the other Fortnite videos, another Fortnite montage one I did, I also went for, a screenshot of the game. However, I did actually zoom in a bit, hence why it doesn't show the mini-map on it, for example. And then, again, similarly with this one. And then there was one other kind of thumbnail I started making for Fortnite, where I actually used replay mode. So on these three, I did in fact actually use replay mode. That being said, in the past, I have also done one where I just show the characters and then I have some kind of background. Because as you can see with my earlier videos, I literally just had a green background and then just had like characters or something to symbolize that game. But so far, from what I've learnt, it really does matter if you're focused on getting views on the channel to get something catchy for the title and make sure it does actually give some kind of reference to the actual video. Please don't make it clickbait, because people will just stop watching you for that. Because even if you did get tons of views for it, people would not want to watch your channel after that. And then of course, for the thumbnails, you do need those to also be catchy, because those usually help a lot with views. So overall, to get views, you get their attention with the thumbnail, and then if they see the title and that gets them interested. They'll then click on the video. That is from what I've learned anyway. I could be completely wrong. So, while I was just talking about the thumbnails and titles, I suddenly remembered there is actually a video that I've got ready, which I'm assuming will probably be the one just before this video comes out, where I haven't actually made the thumbnail yet. So I thought, you know what? Once I've thought of a thumbnail, I'll actually go through the process I do to make it. So I'll see you all then. Okay, so I just watched the video again because yeah, I actually made it quite a while ago and it wasn't completely fresh in my mind. So I thought maybe the best way would be to try and get it to kind of look a bit like the thumbnails I had for the videos it used. However, if we look at the videos that were used, we have this, and this. So they were all before I used better thumbnails. So instead, I'm thinking maybe I can have it kind of link back to the music that I used in a way. For those who don't know, it's a piece of music from Genshin Impact. However, I can't really think of a way that I can have a Fortnite montage thumbnail linked to that place in some way. So, if I'm being completely honest, I'm actually kind of a bit stuck on what to come up with for a thumbnail right now. Of course, this just had to be the one time I was going to make a video showing how I did it. Okay, after a bit of thinking, I did just have another idea. As you can see here, I actually did this thumbnail for back when I re-edited some of the old clan montages. So I've just thought, maybe I could do a similar one to that. I mean, it won't make as much sense because, of course, that thumbnail is in reference to the old clan thumbnails. However, I feel like I can probably make something similar. To be honest, at this point, it doesn't really matter if it's anything clever. I imagine I can just do whatever. So I just had another idea. I am going to go to the place I was talking about in the actual Genshin Impact game and take a picture there. For those wondering, I have indeed done that in the past for a thumbnail. And I believe the music should be in this place somewhere. Was this it? No, I think it's the wrong music, isn't it? I'll get back to you when I try and work out where the music is. No, wait, I think this is the music, isn't it? Wait, no, yeah, this is it, isn't it? Right, yeah, I'll try and find a good place to take a screenshot. Okay, it looks like this is the place. Okay, hopefully they don't attack. I reckon this is good. So if I go here, I can then take out our boy Zhonglei. I can try and work out how to get a nice picture from here. What were you saying? I'd say that's a good picture, right? I'll try it from another place as well. Music's so good. Oh, I reckon over here. It's giving it a bit of blur as well, you know, to make it more cinematic, I guess you could say. I think that'll do. If these ones don't work, then I'll have to come up with another background. So, as a little side note for anyone wondering how to get the pictures of the screenshots for Genshin, if you go over to Program Files, find Genshin Impact, then go to the game, and then screenshots, and then they should all be there. So, these were the two that I got. It's actually kind of hard to say which one would be better. After looking, I'd say maybe this one's actually better, to be honest. And then, seeing as it's Fortnite, I'll do it the way I used to do with some of the classic ones, where I basically just put Fortnite characters on the thumbnail. Okay, so I couldn't actually find where I had it saved, so I've just gotten out one of my very old thumbnails. I'll then copy that, and paste it here. There we go. Actually, if I put it in front of the pillar here, maybe that would work. Now, there are some filters I can do. I tend to actually go on my video editing software and then edit the image there and then put them onto this. I'll see what they're like. Okay, in a weird way, this one could work, actually. Depends. Actually, maybe if I had it really low. Okay, maybe this could work. Actually, maybe that. Maybe that. Because, again, I want to kind of go for that effect where it's like black and white almost to show that it's stuff from before. Yeah, I reckon this thumbnail could work. Just had to export it as a JPEG. You can also do it as a PNG if you want. I just do JPEG because it saves a bit of storage. Also, one other thing I did forget to mention, sorry, is that thumbnails are actually in 720p, so that's 1280 by 720 rather than 1080p as you might be thinking. So sometimes you can actually just do the whole thing in 720p instead. So as you see here, I actually have this entire image here in 720p instead, so that the thumbnail is actually the same resolution as what I made, and add it there. Perfect. So now that I've done the thumbnail, I'll now go on to all the other YouTube stuff. Sorry if this part went on for a bit too long. I do feel like I took quite a while on the thumbnail and title stuff. Actually, now that I've done the thumbnail, I will in fact schedule it for the upcoming video. So with that done, I'll also add it to the right kind of playlists. Now, for playlists, if you actually make these and, make them into categories like I have here, they can actually help if people want to watch those same kind of videos. Because if you go on my channel and then playlists, I've literally got them all into these categories here. We in fact did a similar thing on MFL Clan as well. As you can see here, we have it even categorized into certain members, so it shows the videos that they're in. Now, a few other things I'd recommend doing on the videos. First of all, if you go down here, you've got tags here. Now, these ones I just here by default. If you go to settings of your channel, if you then upload a video, it will automatically have this in the description, for example. It will automatically be private and it'll have these tags. Similarly with these stuff here. Actually, one other thing I forgot to mention is that here, if you have it set to made for kids, it will not have any comments. So personally, I wouldn't recommend having it on made for kids ever. Although, of course, don't restrict it to over 18 unless you have some like adult content of some kind. So for tags, I do tend to have a system. So I did in fact do tags for a version of that video I did before, but of course I actually changed a few of the edits. This was an unfinished version of that montage. So if I go here and copy, I can go to the final version I made and just paste it here. It does all of it. Now, as you can see here, I repeat a lot of the things here, like re-edit. The only difference is the dash there. You can go a bit crazy with these tags if you want. Of course, you should try and make it actually relevant to the video. So, I would recommend having your tags be related to something you say in description or the video title. So yeah, feel free to do these kind of tags if you want. Also, if you scroll down a bit more under gaming, Fortnite here, and save. If I then go on this video again and scroll down, as you can see here, it says Fortnite. Now, one thing I did kind of forget to talk about is descriptions for videos. So first of all, I have the one that is by default on all my videos. And then here, I simply put links to all the videos I used to re-edit. And then below that, I just put the music. Now, for music, I would recommend making sure it is copyright free. If you go on YouTube Studio, under restrictions, it will say if there's any kind of copyright. However, if you hover over the copyright and it says the owner allows the content to be used on YouTube, you should be fine with it. Just to be safe, if you have it on unlisted or private or anything like that, it will still say whether it's copywritten. So you can make sure of that before you make the video go public. Now, one other thing I add in description, of course, is just a little thing for videos. So this one, I'll probably put something like, boom, there we go. For anyone wondering, that is why I came up with this video. So yeah, I genuinely wanted to see how well I do nowadays with the same kind of stuff. Now, one other final thing in YouTube Studio is this part under editor. This part is any last minute things you can do after you've uploaded. Now, ones I've used in the past have been this blur one. Now, this is quite useful. You can literally just blur anything you want. So if you wanted to, you could blur the names up here. And you could have it there for the entire time. You could even get it to track the object if you want. Or just like stay where it is, and you can set a time for when it is. I believe you can have it last the entire thing. Yeah. So blur can be useful if you don't know how to blur on your editing app or anything. You can also have audio. Especially on some of my older videos, I didn't do any kind of music in them. So I actually then added these audios. And all of these are copyright free. You can, in fact, under YouTube Studio, if you scroll down here to Audio Library, you get the full list here as well. And you can, in fact, download them so that you can put them into your editing app instead to then edit the audio as well, or edit the montage to that music if you don't want to do it after you've uploaded the video. So if you're ever worried about copyright free music and you don't mind what kind of music it is, you can literally just use anything. And then a few other important ones. End screen. I use this on basically any video I have. You can do import from latest video. And here I just wait for it to show that little screen thing I have at the end, so that when it ends, it then shows that alongside the ending screen. Another thing you can also do is an info card. I personally haven't really ever done it, but I believe if, for example, I put up this one, yeah, it shows out at the top right there. So especially if you're ever referencing to a past video. To be honest, I should probably do that on a few of my other videos. But yeah, if you're ever referencing to a past video, or you just want it to show that video for whatever reason, you can get it to show it up there. And of course, as you can see here, you can set it to any point in the video, so you could show it here instead or whatever. And also, of course, like, could be any channel as well. I could put Enfo Clan. So if I put that instead, subscribe, subscribe to the channel instead. Do that, by the way. Now, one thing I think I will do while I'm at it, seeing as I've scheduled this video and everything, as I said before, I do actually put some videos on Premiere if they're a short video, so I'd say like, 8 minutes or less, roughly. I do that now, so if I go on that, save it, on my channel in a second, it's then going to pop up saying video out in like 2 days or whenever it is. Here we go, yeah. I really hope that going through this part helps you understand my process of after I've uploaded a video. Now, of course, I'm going to go more into actually editing videos. For anyone wondering, I use DaVinci Resolve. As of right now, it's 18.6. I don't know if that means anything to any of you. I was trying to think of things I could actually show, because if you wanted just a tutorial on how to use this software, then you could probably just watch anyone else's video. So I thought maybe instead I'd show the kind of things I've learnt from each individual video. So I've said this quite a few times now, but I have been learning editing from scratch just from while I've been making these videos. So first of all, one thing I do want to make clear is that up to, I believe, this video, I was not using DaVinci Resolve. I can't remember the name of what I used, so I don't really count that stuff as, me learning all the content creation stuff. So instead, I believe when I first actually did editing on DaVinci Resolve, it was around here. So this might actually be the first proper editing I did. So first of all, something many of you may have noticed is that with a lot of my montages, I actually use music from Genshin Impact. And that is just because of how good the music is, in my opinion. So I believe this was actually the first time I even used Genshin Impact music as well. If you play the game, you'd probably recognize this from Sumemu. I don't think there was anything in particular in this montage that I did specifically. This was simply me just learning the very basics of the DaVinci Resolve. However, I do believe there were 1 or 2 times when I tried making something fancy almost. There, I did try and make it in sync a tiny bit, but it wasn't really that great. Here it is. Yeah, that drop there, that was on purpose, where I fall into another clip. Oh, here's another one. So, as you can see here, I put ×2 speed at the top and gave it a different filter while I sped up. So those are a few other things I tried learning. I then tried changing things up for the 2v2 in subscribers. So here, for example, I start it off with that slide, and also the text moving there at the top. And then, of course, I also try and do transitions there. Here. Like, I try to do like a blur transition thing. I'll go into it later, I can't really remember what it's called now. So this was just me trying to learn how to do transitions almost. And I believe that was really all there was to it. And also, I learned how to add these chapters in. Yeah, for anyone wondering, if you put timestamps in your description, these chapters will then be added. This one, I believe, is my first ever Rocket League montage. I try and start it off with something extra. So with this one, I already started off with a lot of new things. So I actually used my profile background here, as you can see. And also I showed gameplay of a previous video alongside showing what video it was. And also I do that kind of text movement there. Back then that was a bit tricky for me. And also this part, I put them all on filter to show it was a flashback. Also I do believe I tried making it in sync from what I could see. I'll turn it up for all of you. And also, I've got like a motion blur thing going on. I did actually do that for a few other Fortnite montages as well. I don't know why, but I kind of started not really liking it that much. However, if any of you do prefer the way I did it with that motion blur, do let me know and I'll start doing it again. So yeah, the special things I had going on for this was the motion blur and the synced part of the montage. And I believe this video was the first ever Genshin one I did, where I simply just took it from the Twitch stream. Although, I should have started doing what I do for all the videos. So yeah, I try and cut it when there's no dialogue, so I save a lot of time. And then this one, again, I tried doing some new kind of transitions. I didn't do the motion blur for this one, and I don't think I did this one in sync either. Yeah, that was right. This one was actually made before the Rocket League montage that came out before this one. It's just that because I put I have returned to Rocket League, I made that the first one instead, so it makes a bit more sense. But technically this was me not being as good at editing at the time. But here again, I try and do the same kind of transitions I do for the 2v2 subscribers. But I believe here, for example, I do sync it with the music a bit. Yeah, like that, for example. So yeah, whenever I changed it to the next tier, I think I did kind of sync it in with the music. And then this one is the first time I actually got a synced montage going on. So this one was motion blur as well. Also, I'm really sorry, I forgot to mention, I believe it was with the 2v2 subscribers, or maybe it was even as far back as the 2v2 box fights, where I actually put that as the highest quality. And for anyone wondering, it's because on 1080p, it isn't perfectly what you had the recording as, because for some reason it loses quality, even though it should be the same. So 1440p actually keeps it the same exact way if you upscale it. I have no idea why, but it seems to be the case for me anyway. Hence why all my videos are 1440p, but I play on 1080p. So yeah, for this video, the main focus was purely just trying to sync everything. And I feel like I did well. There was one clip that was actually quite tricky for me to do. This one here. Trying to get each hit to be in sync but not the missed ones was actually really tricky for me. That was the closest thing I ever had to like a velocity edit almost. I'll go into velocity edits later because my later videos have them. OG Fortnite has returned. I remember adding quite a few things here. So the first clip, for example, I made it one of my most impressive ones where I synced the snipe with the explosion. So, well, I timed the snipe with the explosion. And then, yeah, synced music as well. Synced kills with music, so. Oh, here as well in a second. That transition there, as I scope into another enemy. This part here as well. Yeah, this is my first time trying to do that kind of edit right there. And I don't think I've ever tried doing it since. But, yeah, that one took me ages to do, to be honest. And, yeah, I was quite impressed with it. So yeah, as you can see, it was literally me sniping the same squad, but you know, because of how the music was, I decided to do that kind of edit. And also, you may have been noticing that here, for example, when I speed up the gameplay, it's not an instant speed up almost, and that's because of something I'll probably get into later, where you can actually have it slowly start to speed up to the final speed you want it to be at, and then also of course slow it down. However, here I do actually slow it down and it doesn't really drop frames or anything. If you look here, that was like a really smooth slowdown, and here as well I slowed it down nicely. Now this one was actually quite annoying to do, because if you noticed, all the gameplay is, I think, like 30 FPS or something, because these are old clips and I somehow messed it up and it instead did like 30 FPS or something instead of 60. Hence why, if you're wondering, like, you know, it looks a bit weird, doesn't it? And to try and cover up that low FPS, I did like a motion blur kind of thing, but doesn't look perfect. Overall though, I'm gonna admit this video didn't go great for my editing. I messed up quite a few times. Oh yeah, this was it. You can even see the snipe there. So I've really messed that one up. I got really good snipes though back then. And then at the end here, I do a little TV shut off there because I started it on TV. Yeah, for this TV part, I simply got some kind of like non-copyright TV animation, and then I zoomed in, and then this part was really tricky. Nowadays it would still take me a while to do, but that, where it shows the gameplay through the TV with the TV effects still there, I think I had to do something like get the TV but without the screen through editing, and then get just the screen, as in like doing the exact opposite, and then put the gameplay in between both of them. It was something like that. It takes quite a while to do. I did a similar thing with the Chucky thumbnail, for anyone wondering. Now for this one, I did quite a few things. First of all, I tried doing that, you know, like vintage quality thing at the beginning. This, if anyone is wondering, is because it's in reference to the music. So again, Genshin music, and basically this music is part of a video that promotes a certain character, and to put it simply, that video starts at low quality the same way this does. And then when that video goes into good quality, I then did it on this montage as well to go with the music, if that makes sense. Actually, I do believe I did a short on it before. Right here was my first ever attempt at trying to get, like, you know, a bunch of clips all to go with that fast-paced part. And if you look at that slowed down, I can almost guarantee it's not perfectly in sync. Because yeah, I was quite bad at that back before. In fact, I'll quickly check now. About 2 of the kills are quite off, so that was not that great. However, they then do the transition into the smooth gameplay, and also did a bit of motion blur here. Now for Goodbye OG Fortnite, again it's Genshin music. I did in fact choose sad music on purpose. Like, in Genshin, this music literally plays at really sad times, and I start it off with showing really old gameplay. Like, that's a Season 5 clip right there from Chapter 1, same with this one. And then I change it to motion blur here with the new stuff. I try and go for a lot more of like a cross-dissolve kind of transition, like I do in a lot of my videos nowadays. Here, for example. Not that part, here. But, you know, that kind of transition. I did it to signify that it was part of the same clip, kind of thing. Or at least, like, you know, same kind of game that I was playing it in. And then I end it here with, you know, old gameplay again. This was such a random game that I was in, by the way. Both just landed at the edge of the map. Right, my channel trailer here, I actually had ready for quite a while. And for those who are wondering, you can literally just look up, I think they're called like idents or something. Yeah, you can literally download those, and then it'll say like your name here or whatever, and then you just put your name, that kind of thing. And then for this video I changed things up a bit. I do a few new things here. Well, first of all, I start it off with, you know, this intro of, you know, us constantly getting the wins. And I also do it off a part in Fistful Edits' stream here. That's how I got his perspective, if you're wondering. There's like a clip on his Twitch. And then it shows me killing him, of course. Right, here, I tried doing, well, I do like this, you know, cutting part. But this is the first time I tried doing velocity edits. I'll explain it later, but it does annoy me that I kind of messed it up a bit. Because it's not perfectly in sync because of something I did. So overall, I'd say this is quite an impressive one for my first attempt at transitions. Okay, this one I'm quite proud of. Because yeah, first of all, this intro I do. If any of you are wondering how I did this intro, if you press the scroll wheel on your mouse, you can make it so it does like a constant scroll down of a website, if that makes sense. And so I did that constant thing, and then as you can see here, it speeds up in a second. Here. That was why I just simply, sped up the scrolling down. Now here, I changed the thumbnail to part of the beginning of it. Which, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am actually quite proud of. And then, after I made that a clip, I then zoomed in. I actually do a bit of velocity edits again, like this part. And then for this video, well, first of all, I guess if you watch this, you'll know what I'm on about, but yeah, there's medical reasons why I've not been 100%, I guess you could say. But after that, I then do a montage. Again, Genshin music. I then do that weird, like, transition TV thing there. I had to look up how to do that one because, yeah, you do that one purely just through some weird effects, almost. I would not be able to say how to do it. I can't remember. But again, I do black and white. Here, as well, I forgot to mention, I finally realised you can make it properly black and white. Because before, I had it black and white, but for some reason some colours would still show. And also for anyone wondering, the reason why I made it black and white was to show that these were the old clips before the hospital. Then these are the new clips. So yeah, one of the main takeaways from this is that simply changing the effects of a clip can kind of give a different feeling to it quite a lot. And also, for montages especially, really do try and consider the actual music. I really would recommend doing that. Especially if that music originally came from a different kind of video. If you can somehow reference it to that video, it can usually just feel a lot better. Here. So, yeah. And in the video, it basically shows stuff from the past, and well, yeah, that's it really. It shows stuff from the past and keeps on going through them almost, and then goes into something big, grand almost. So that's exactly what I did here. Here I do mess it up a bit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is kind of annoying to watch back, like, especially if you've seen what that's from. However, considering how I was at the time, I wouldn't say it was too bad. That part alone took me quite a while to do. This one, I also try and reference to the music here. There we go. That glitchy effect, And I also do, like, a weird reverse thing here. Like, all the edits I do in this video, it's kind of as a little reference to the song. I took a bit of inspiration again by starting it on the clan channel because it was old clips. But again, yeah, I just try and make this another chilled out one. Part of the reason why I don't go heavy on the edits here is because of the music. Which is exactly why sometimes I'll do these velocity edits and sometimes it's just in sync but nothing else. You've probably guessed at this point, this is Genshin music. One thing I did forget to go through though is the video that's going to be out. I just realised. Because of course I put that video from early on Premiere, I just realised I can't watch it now. But luckily I do still have it on my computer, because I only delete the videos on my PC once they're actually public on YouTube. And again, I just do like, velocity edits. And also, as you may have noticed, the old clips from this part were actually like 30 FPS again or something like that. So I did the same thing I did earlier of trying to make low FPS look like 60 FPS. I did quite a lot of cross dissolve stuff here. I didn't do much like, speeding up like I normally would either. I just cut it down to a cross dissolve. Here I sped it up because of how the music is. This part, for anyone wondering, I had to keep the transitions from the old one because of course I don't have the clips anymore. So this one was kind of an awkward one to make in sync and everything else. I still managed it quite well though. And with that done, I think it's time to actually show how I do some of those edits. Alright, so the moment you've all been waiting for. Now, for this, I'll just get out any old clips I have. Right, for the next part, of course, we're gonna want some music. As always, if it's me, it's got to be the Genshin music. So there are quite a few options. It really depends on what kind of theme we're going for here. You know, whether it's a nice relaxed one or just an absolute crazy one. I think I'll go for the latter, especially considering it's creative. So that calls for this. So let's find when I get the kill. So that's one hit, a knock there. Okay, yes, I get both of them. Let's start around here. Yeah, to make things easier, I'll just have the music play when I get that first hit. Here. I'm probably gonna do velocity edits to show you all how I do them. So I go on retime controls, or control R. Then find the point where they get the hit. You can go frame by frame. That's the first time damage is shown. So you click on this little black arrow, then add speed point. Shows it there. So then you just line it up with the music. I can't line it up from now, I just realized. Let's go by the marker. Around here. Perfect. Let's then go back a bit. So that's perfectly timed. Right, also to make things easier, I'm going to quickly go ahead and put markers on the other hits. There we go. Right, after hearing the music for this part, that one, that one, that one, just to make things easier. Like, no, when it does that loud noise, I'll do those for the beats. Here's how we do velocity edits. Actually, you know what? I'll even do a velocity edit for the first hit. I tend to do it completely different every time I do these, to be honest. But you want to just take some time back. Sure, let's go here. Add a speed point there. Go roughly in the middle. Another speed point. Might have to zoom in to be able to see the black arrows. First one, again, sometimes I change the speed for these. I do 200% and then 50%. So I just noticed while I was recording this, when I click on the black arrows, you don't see anything here. Let me quickly fix that. Right. Sorry about that, everyone. As you can see, when you click on the black arrows, these appear. So yeah, sorry for any confusion that may have happened before. You go to this one, change speed 200%. This one change speed 50%. And as you can see, this marker here is still meaning when you get the hit here. But of course, because the speed has been changed, it's been moved. Basically, the one at the top here changes the actual speed along with it, whereas the one at the bottom changes the amount of time it's in that speed for. I don't know if that really makes sense, to be honest. But in general, we just want the marker to try and line up with the music again, so that it should be like this. And that is, to put it simply, how velocity edits work. So we find the other part. So again, let's go here maybe. Add a speed point here. Add a speed point. Change the speeds. As you can see. Of course, if you want to make it a bit different, you can make it slower for less time and faster for more time. So it's like that instead. But we're just going for in time with the music and just, you know, trying to keep it basic. And then we want the next beat, I believe it's around here. Yeah, okay, so let's go back around here again, add a speed point, and add another speed point. Change speeds, I'm assuming you all know the drill by now. And then have to move it. Now, that's a kind of cutting it close, because the actual sound is here, so it's not actually with the hit there, as you can see. You can alternatively do this, and then move that back again. Right, so for this first clip, this is how it goes right now. So right, there are also a few other things I would normally do in this situation. For example, this edit I do here. I would usually also do that in time with the music, but again, you just have to do the same kind of thing, do that velocity edit, but instead it's on an edit rather than you hitting a person. So in a second I will maybe do another clip that does edits as well, but just to make things simple for the first clip, I'm just showing the hits. Now, of course, this is great and all, but if you want it to be even smoother, is when you click on video, you've got all of this stuff over here, go down to retime and scaling, retime process, optical flow, and then speed warp I believe is with a paid version, so you can only really do enhance better if you have this version. So if we look at it now, However, of course, pause at a point like this, look, it all looks all weird now. So something I sometimes do to counter this is, as you can see here, the part where it actually looks weird is when it's at 100%, which is when it's already smooth enough anyway. So what you can do is actually cut that part and then make it so this one doesn't have the retime. And of course the same with the ones over here. Okay, so now I've done it so that there's only the retime done on the parts that change speeds. So if you then look at it, so that is, to put it simply, the basics of velocity editing. Now, of course, that's not the only thing I'm going through today, because of course, I'm going to try and cover a few of the other things I've done in my past videos. So, as you may have noticed here, I actually have all the transitions here. This, as you can see, is the cross dissolve. It's the one I normally do. So, if we take the next clip here, so then cross dissolve would look like this. And a few of the other ones I did on my videos were, I believe, blur dissolve, for example, which just does that instead. For the effects I use on some of my clips, you know, like my classic vintage look I sometimes do on a lot of the old clips, for example, I go on film damage, and then you see it gives this effect now. And of course, the way I properly show old clips nowadays is I take out the film damage one, and then I go over to the color page, and then go down to color boost, take it down to the very lowest. And also the thing I said about before, with it not being completely black and white, because if we look at it now, you can still see yellow, red, all of those colors. It's not completely black and white. So what you have to do is go to saturation and take it down to the lowest. Because if we now look, see it's completely black and white. Now, another transition I do, one that you'd have definitely seen if you've watched my Genshin Quest videos. It is simply the fade in and fade out, which you can do by these white arrows up here. Well, not white arrows, whatever the little white things are at the top there. If you take that out, the screen then gets dark. Then, of course, you could do the other way. So if you do this, see it does that little fade thing. You could also do that with audio as well. So if I took this music for a second, and I did this, you should hear it get quieter and then louder again when it gets over here. Right, I believe I've found Bomb that has me edit a few times. We'll take the finished. Actually, yeah, the second it shows the edit finished there. And then let's go with when I start it. I have it slow down for the edit and then speed up for the hit. Right, now that I heard the music, I just realised I wasn't doing this along to music, which is a big mistake if we want it to be in sync. Okay, we'll make this loud noise here, the sound of the hit. So, right, we'll make this part where the edit ends. How does that go? Put that to 35, and I'll instead try and... Alright, so I think I've gotten it going well now. Right, I feel like that'll do for now. Then we'll find the other hit, so here. And then I believe I get another hit. Okay, never mind, it's just that one kill then. Okay, so here's another edit I do. So let's start it at the beginning of the edit again. Have it stop at around the end of the edit. A bit after maybe. We'll then go with the typical speed, might have to change it later. See how the music is around this point. Ooh. Well, I think I already had the timing down there. Just about, maybe. There are 3 significant parts in how the music is around that point, in terms of the beat. So we can have the beginning of the edit be there, end of the edit at another one, and then the hit for the final beat. I'll then go about here, add a marker, speed things up from that point. Right, we want the next one to be around here. I see, I do the edit too fast. Actually, I suppose that could work in a weird way though. Yeah, I reckon that could work. It's not as flashy as I intended it to be, but I feel like that kind of works in a way. So again, in light of the whole issues we had with the clips here, so what I'm going to do is actually only take the slowdown this time. Now, I just looked through it and unfortunately it doesn't look as smooth as the other one. You see it shows multiple reticles, for example. When it slows down, it's not really as good, to be honest. Yeah, look, it's not amazing. So in a way, it might actually be better in those situations to not bother with the retime. Now, from what I can remember, I do believe motion blur was the only thing I hadn't mentioned yet. Now, if I remember correctly, I think you had to first get optical flow and then motion, like vector motion blur? I could be wrong there. Right, so in a weird way, this clip does actually work better because of the motion blur, if you look at it like that. So, it could be covered up with motion blur, and yeah, surprisingly enough, I do believe that's all there is really to the editing. And also, of course, at the end, I always then add this. I usually have it last about 5 seconds or so, because that's usually how long you need it to be for the recommended videos and everything. The edits done today look like this. Not too bad, not too bad. And yeah, I do believe that's it for editing long form videos. Yeah, I don't think I've really missed out on anything that I do in my typical videos. There are a few things I've done as one-offs, like in this and this, for example, but I don't think there was anything for just your typical montage, for example, that I haven't really talked about. So yeah, I think that's it. Hold on a second. Future me here. I completely forgot to do something that I've done on a few of my videos, which is that transition I do where it kind of blends in to the next clip. Right, so to make things more interesting, I just found two of my older clips. You may actually recognize it from one of my past videos. So, we'll take the first snipe I get, and the second one. So, okay, this is perfect. So we have a snipe here. This is the one that you might recognize. And then you see that I scope in again. Fortunately, it looks like I missed that one. Very tragic. But that's not what we need anyway. So we want me to scope in. Let's take maybe the first. Yeah, so when this part is first shown, snip that. And then we take the next time I scope in. So that should be about okay here. Find that same point. Cut that. Okay, it looks like I didn't do it perfectly. I'll maybe go like one frame more. So it looks like this. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, of course, because the background suddenly changes. But as you can see, it's the same animation the whole time. And that is the general idea of what to go for. Cross dissolve might make it even smoother. Because you could then put it like halfway, maybe. Cross dissolve it. Look how smooth it now looks. You see it looks a lot nicer, that whole transition. And with that, I do believe I have nothing else to go through with editing. For crying out loud, I forgot another thing to do. And also, you may have been noticing that here, for example, when I speed up the gameplay, it's not an instant speed up almost, and that's because of something I'll probably get into later, and I completely forgot. Alright, to make things very simple, I'm going to just simply take one of my other old clips again, and just show how this works. So yeah, to keep things simple, I think I'll just do a gradual speed up around to maybe here, and then maybe it can start to slow down again as it gets to the killing part. Just keep it very simple, you know. Let's see here. So we'll get it to be regular speed again around here, and then let's do it around halfway, so about here. This can be very fast, so let's say 400. And so then for the retime curve, we've got this. So this is how you make the speed up very smooth. Is from this over here. So if we want it to be very gradual on both sides, we click this at the top and just try and get them at some kind of halfway point so that instead of this, we get this. So of course, because I chose a very fast speed, it's not as noticeable, the speed up, because of course it's still sudden to some extent. But if, let's say we did 200% maybe, then as you can see, there's not as much of a build up happening. So instead it would go along the lines of this. So you don't really notice the speed up and slow down. So of course, yeah, it's much more noticeable at faster speeds. Alternatively, of course, if we put it back to higher speed, we can instead put this back to what it was before, make this a gradual build up. So it would look something like this. So there's always that as an alternative as well. But as I was saying back here, I kind of messed it up a bit because it's not perfectly in sync because of something I did. If, for example, let's put the speed point when I get, let's say when I get that number 37 here, let's put a speed point here instead. We can clear these and put it all to 200, sorry, 100. So now this is the only speed point. Let's also just put one here or something, doesn't really matter. And let's say you've done all your, let's just call this a velocity edit. Actually, yeah, I'll also put 50% here, you know, let's keep it the way it used to be. So let's just pretend we've done all the edits, right? And as you can see, number 37 is at 14 seconds, 23 milliseconds or something. I'm not really sure what that is, to be honest. Let's try and find that number and see what time it's at. Let's say I make it smooth. Oh, would you look at that? It's the same time, but we don't see the number anymore. In fact, where do we get it? 1430. So of course, we're talking like 7 frames difference. It's not a big deal, but if you want it perfectly in sync, you have to, of course, adjust it again. So that is why I said before about this not being perfectly in sync with the music, because I did this kind of thing along with the velocity edits. Also, for when I actually then render this entire video, I do MP4, H.265, and then this is how I get the 1440p. I upscale it here, so for those who don't know, this is the resolution for 1440p. And then of course, 60 FPS. I do the best option here for quality. And then, yeah, if you want, you can just copy these settings if you want to use the same ones I do. And likewise, the same for advanced settings. I don't have YouTube settings or anything like that on. Alright, so for shorts, I have it set up in a certain way. So first of all, I always have this Twitch banner here. So as you can see, it appears at the top and then disappears. I also have this text ready here for whenever I need it. And then if I enable it, unlock it, I type something, then it shows the text there. You may have noticed that in some of my shorts before. So I will get out the first stream I did. Maybe I'll start it off where I get to be saying that it's my first time playing or something like that. I've been playing this game recently with Amphitrog, and yeah, I thought I'd maybe stream it, but I guess that'll do. And as the title suggests, it's going to be my first time actually, you know, grinding for stuff. Right, so after I say the first part, alright, I just looked through the first stream, and for the times I'm actually against other players, I didn't do so well. So I think I might actually just take the first part I say there at the beginning of that stream, and then just show the next stream instead for the actual gameplay. Right, here, as you can see, there's a gap in between when I'm talking, so I simply so that more time is being saved with what I'm actually saying. So now it goes like this. I've been playing this game recently with Amphitrog, and yeah, I thought I'd maybe stream it. Yeah, I recently got this NT242 sniper. It's for getting like 400 kills as a specialist. There we go. And then, when I say NT242, so that then does this. You got this NT242 sniper. And after that, I'm not going to bother changing up here, I'll just quickly, I'll then just quickly reset the ones afterwards, so then it goes like this. Yeah, I recently got this NT242 sniper. It's for getting like 400 kills as a specialist. There you go. Actually, in fact, I'll also do that. It's then a bit quicker as well. 242 sniper. It's for getting like 400 kills as a specialist. Right, on to the actual gameplay part. Because the first 12 seconds are actually just me in the menus. Right, I've then skipped to when I find the enemies. What? Oh, I see it. Yeah, slow internet connections.
Take the objective. I've got this. Grenade in play.
Right, so I went past the part where I was actually getting all the kills. So it seems like I stopped getting kills around this point. So then I cut it there. Also, when I talk about the internet connection or have it show internet connection, I'll then get it to show slow internet connection. Slow internet connection. Now I just realised while I was doing that, when it zoomed in to show slow internet connection, I actually got a kill in that time. So I think instead I will just do simple cuts. Oh, I see it. Yes, slow. So maybe for the OIC, because I think I get the kill when I say slow internet connection. So just for this part, I'll get it to zoom in. Oh, I see it. Yeah, slow internet connection. So there you go. Ooh, as I was saying that, I did just notice I got a bunch of kills in a row at this point. So I will show that for a bit. But then I'll just do Kylo Ren for the rest of the short. There we go. So I got a bunch of kills there. However, I then just noticed it's already close to a minute. So I think I'll have to take just the best parts of that. So maybe the point here, I believe. I think I get like 3 headshots maybe. So I'll just go with that instead. And then for the rest of like the 20 seconds or so, I'll try and do Kylo Ren. Right, so I'll do this point because I got tons of kills. Of course, it is kind of a shame because it's co-op. It's not really actually players that I'm going against. So it looks like I don't really get any other stuff during that time, so I'll stop it after I said something about enemies there. No idea I was so close to so many enemies there. So now I get a kill, so I'll then skip ahead a bit. Okay, nothing special really happens at that point, so I'll skip ahead again. I'll just show a few more kills at this point. But I did just notice I've gone a bit over a minute here, so I'll really try and cut it close. Right, because I'm very close to a minute, I'll just leave it there. Recently I've been doing a thing with shorts where I, for the first bit, so maybe that, I then do a fade in and fade out kind of thing at the end of them. So that when I then loop them, it's kind of just a nice thing here, as you can see. And of course I tend to do that with the audio as well. So I feel like I don't really have to change anything. I think that's good enough to upload now. So yeah, something I did forget to mention for the shorts is that the highest resolution for it is 1080 by 1920, which is the opposite of 1080p. So then when I go on deliver, I also use my render preset of shorts. Yeah, as you can see here, literally every short I've made is shown here. Done 51 so far on this. So then I'll just name this, then add to render queue, render. Because it's only a minute and considering the resolution, shorts are typically very quick to render. For those who are wondering what kind of render settings I have for shorts, it's this. So MP4, H.265 codec, 60 FPS, and then just these if you want to copy them. For YouTube settings, I don't have that on. If you want to save time, you can have it upload it to your YouTube if you have that linked, but I don't really bother. I just upload them when I get the file. Oh, sorry, and also for advanced, I believe the ones that aren't by default are these ones maybe. It's like the highest quality ones here. And so yeah, I literally just have it on the highest for everything since it's a short, since, you know, it's only a minute. Jesus. Well, this video took quite a while. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I've spent like these last few days doing this. It certainly took a while, that's for sure. It's crazy as well, I'm doing all these edits within an edit. It's like edit inception over here. That's what I'm saying. Wait, what the hell? Wait, who are you?